Previously on the Ranger Danger series.
There's no oil.
That is nasty.
As you take an engine apart, you keep running into issues. In the truck early this morning.
In the back seat,
8
guys.
a.m. And Alan has a head. Alan's got his head.
Yep.
We got a cart, and we got
Probably like the sketchiest character in Home Depot right now.
well. It's also 8 a.m. We're the only ones.
He gave me some paper towels. I thought he was going to stop me and say, hey, you can't bring that in here.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Theory here was to put these in and get a nut, so we found the right bolt and we found the right nut.
We got 12 stainless steel 1/4 inch bolts, 3.5 inch. Well, and he still cuts the muffler off. Jeez. Look at this. Look at this.
Hey, my phone.
So, I have a stat selection right now that's on Zoom. So I'm just gonna turn on my camera at the engine bay, and then we're just gonna, sick dude. That's perfect. Look at that. Yep, that's us. Now what are you doing? Gasket sealant. I'm hoping it's good enough. I don't trust myself, but how hard can it be?
I'm glad it'll be your fault when it doesn't work. You're down so it has torque.
But we need to put the sealant on this side too.
Oh yeah.
We tightened, 22 foot-pounds, tightened 51 to 55 foot-pounds, and then wait 5 minutes, 90 degrees more.
How much is your computer?
52. We have to go to 52 and then 90 more degrees.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, how are we gonna get 90 more degrees out of that?
Yeah, you can barely
Breaker bar, yeah? Right.
The p-values and the...
Alan's gonna have a very educational video.
Now for the final 90 degrees of turning for all the bolts, head bolts.
Where's your hair on that?
We're gonna use some nail polish to mark them and then turn them 90 degrees so we can tell what 90 degrees looks like. Yo!
That's not that bad, actually. About 80?
I'd say you're like 70. That's probably good enough. Jeez.
That is pretty close.
Yeah, I'd say that's good. Those aren't going anywhere. Jeez.
Okay, if they go somewhere, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe the first one's just bad. That one maybe once the pressure's down it. Like,
Oh yeah, I bet that's what it is. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
if that comes out,
That is good.
I'm throwing the engine in a river.
Now we're putting the engine oil dipstick back in, which goes onto this other thingy. I don't know what you call it, like an engine handle or something. That's what we've been calling it. So it's my genius idea of putting the nuts on the bolts and the exhaust manifold. You can see here, the bottom one, there's one up top here, which is easy to get, but then there's also one on the bottom. The right side, there was absolutely no room to get in there. I had to go from underneath, and it took us about an hour and a half to get that nut on there. So, but we did get it eventually, and that's really all that counts. And now this one, I am very close. My hand got really, really oily from going down there. Yeah.
Turning into Jack's color.
This whole car is just an oily mess. We got one up here, a little 2-inch one there. We got one up over here. The impossible one was down there. Then we put that one on. We're gonna forget about the ones way down there and the one under here because that's gonna be near impossible. 4 bolts to hold that on should be good enough. We're just not going under that much stress, right?
It can't be that bad.
It's probably fine. And then over here we have like 5 bolts except for that very back one in the bottom.
We need that one. There's a gap. Look.
What?
There's a gap.
I think I might still have enough space to squeeze in there. We have a little gap in the exhaust there, so we're trying to get that last bolt there all screwed in, but it takes a very, very fine touch. About to drop in the nut.
That one hit the ground.
That's right, I'm just grabbing a new one. We'll get that.
4!
I know.
Is this the only one you guys gotta do, or is there a couple more nuts?
The last one. We didn't even want to do this one, but
We had to do
here
a
we are.
couple more before.
You on it? Bruh. I think it's going in.
Yeah, good luck whoever takes
I'm gonna have to leave in the...
What? How did that happen? Oh shoot, yeah, I guess I can take it out. Gosh, dang it. Man, okay, so after about an hour or two of messing with this, there's this little gap there. You can kind of see it, hopefully. Right where my finger is. Yeah, there's a little gap in between the head and the exhaust there. So I was trying to put the bolt on the bottom. We couldn't get it because the end of the threads were all like filled with rocks. And then I tried with a different, it's just, we're giving up. We're just gonna put gasket sealant. And now for the heater. Now the transmission fill line
Where did it go?
goes somewhere back there. Like it was attached to the back of the head when we pulled it out.
But we put these push rods in just on top of all the lifters they go on. And then we put this, the rocker arm, whatever this is called, on here. And then there's 3 bolts here that hold it in. And those get torqued to 45. And then we're gonna gap the gaps between the rocker arms on this side and the springs. Factory, they come gapped at 0.001. Recommended gap is 0.002 to 0.003.
That's good.
So ideally these haven't moved since we didn't move them. So it's very important to keep the push rods in the same valves that they came out of. The same bolts. And the same bolts. This is just for wear reasons. Okay, now we're ready. Push that down. For the torque for lower intake manifold bolt, and we get hand start, and we have to go to 38 inch-pounds and the 72 inch-pounds, and then 132 inch-pounds, and then 180 inch-pounds. Well, they're ranges, but we'll just pick a number in the middle, I guess.
Sorry.
These are the lower intake manifold bolts, and they go 2 in each intake. So you just kind of drop them in, and then we'll get them torqued down. And Josh is getting the thermostat back in, so that's always good.
Smells like turkey.
I only smell oil at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what you're smelling, Sam. It just smells like oil.
Turkey gravy. I think that's what she's making.
I mean, Thanksgiving is around the corner. This is being filmed like
Prepping.
2 days before.
Using 3 extensions is required. And we're gonna go to
You need that?
60. We got a dial, and it only goes 0, 50, 100. So I'm just kind of getting it to about 60.
I see what you mean.
And that's, I guess, how you do that. Now we're gonna do the valve cover, and the distributor, then we do alternator, and then air conditioning, and upper intake. Make sure all the wires are hooked up, and then we try to turn it on. It's tempting to start it within an hour. Yes, we did.
Between here so it stays on.
Oh, that is smart.
That is actually. I was like,
Wow, the engineers did something right.
no one took that bolt out.
Brandon, Alan,
Yeah.
I didn't put the bracket in.
why didn't you take that bolt out?
We can just blame Sam. Supervisor Sam.
How are we doing?
I'm doing the exact same
Take
thing.
the bolt out.
Yeah, because I probably thought it was a good idea. Let's just put them back in.
No one's gonna watch all this, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
He's kind of slacking. He didn't put the bolt back in. He didn't.
Yeah. Why'd you put the
Same
bolt
here.
back in, Alan?
Got the fuel line more or less hooked up. Good enough. Let's try starting it, Alex, and see what happens. Go for it.
Oh.
Oh, that is definitely not hooked up. We got fuel leaking everywhere. Never mind. It's cranking. Oh yeah, it's leaking pretty bad. We're gonna have to, turn off the electrical. We gotta fix a fuel leak still. We hopefully fix the fuel leak. Gonna try again here.
I think that's just the fuel pump now. I know
Bitter
it sounds
powder.
like it's leaking, but
Let it run for a second.
That's not the leak.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right, crank it over, see what happens. Dead battery soon. Kind of sounds like we have compression though. We found yet another fuel leak. Look at how bad this one is. That, like, we didn't cut that any farther. It was just all ripped off there. Yikes.
And they're in the same spot, down by the fuel filter. They're like down here.
Yeah, so I don't know what the heck happened to that. I don't know how we could drive this when we picked it up in South Dakota. Because I don't think there was a fuel leak. Maybe there was, we just didn't pay enough attention. But no, I feel like we would have noticed that. I don't know how those...
It wouldn't have started. It doesn't have enough fuel pressure to get
Yeah,
to the injector.
I really don't know. We fixed fuel line leak number like 307, and now we're gonna try cranking again.
get a new battery.
I think it's charging. That seemed like more powerful earlier. Oh, something's smoking, yeah. Nice. All right, take number 271. We just hooked up another wire that went over there somewhere, and I don't know. Let's see it. Also, we took the batteries from the Camaro and put it in here because.
It made no difference. Crank again?
Smoking. Smoky engines are bad.
It's probably a fuel thing.
Yeah, either fuel or sparks with the distributor.
Okay, here's what one thing happened on YouTube.
Our distributor was just off! Let's go! Whoa! Whoa! Let's go! It starts to run! Yes, dude! Yes! Let's go!
Really nasty.
Anyways, now we're flushing out the coolant.
I mean, it's getting clearer. It was worse.
Yeah, so I'll just keep pouring this out.
Yeah,
You know, get a little bit of that chunky stuff out of there. But then we'll drive it around, a little test drive in the neighborhood, and this is so cool. We took this whole thing apart. This is the collective effort of the last 5 days. So Alex didn't end up recording anymore that night, but he did take it for a test drive that night or the day after or something, and a whole bunch of things went wrong, such as brown liquid gushing from the exhaust, boiling water falling from the engine bay, muffler falling off, etc. Kind of a train wreck, but that's for the next video. We diagnose some things, fix some more things. Stick around, hopefully enjoy the series so far. It's all about the learning experience here. That's what we're going for, and hopefully at the end we'll have a working truck.